Welcome back everyone and welcome back to A Place in Space. It's Tuesday, we're back to regular programming. It's New Comic Book Day, so let's do it. Kicking off, one of the biggest issues of all time arrives to you in facsimile format. We love those words these days because they're cool. From 1963, the Avengers #1. I know, they've stood the test of time because if you want, you can grab yourself the original series as it originally appeared with original adverts, all for a few bucks. Lovely stuff. And indeed, you can chime in this week from Jed McKay's brand new iteration of the Avengers all the way through to the modern era. Jason Aaron's era is officially done. Marvel are bringing you Jed McKay in his finest. Now, C.F. Filler has got a bit of a slightly, very Moorish, Oliver Coipel-esque, is that a phrase? I'm going to try and make it a phrase, style to his artwork, which I'm very much enjoying. That's very cool. That's out this week. Now, let me ramble, folks. Let's do it. This is Batman the Brave and the Bold #1. I'm sure you'll be hearing from myself and the Chief about this very soon because this looks fit. Okay, massive supersize issue. I'm just going to rattle off some names to you. Tom King, Mitch Gerards, Clayton Cowles, Ed Brisson, Jeff Spokes, Javier Rodriguez, Christopher Cantwell, Dan Mora. Like, wow. Okay, the artwork in this is luscious. It's another one of those big bumper series that DC are doing so well recently, and every single page, folks, is mouth-watering. I don't want to show you too much because there's a lot to enjoy in here, but from the classic to the simplistic to the uber moody and hazy style of artworks, they have got that absolutely nailed. If you want a Batman book in your life and you're struggling this week or month, pick that up, folks. We've got a few different covers online. Should be bloody awesome. Okay, Danny Ketch, otherwise known as the second Ghost Rider, is back. Now, Howard Mackie, I'm reliably informed, was writing Ghost Rider back in the 90s. So he's rolled all the way around to 2023 and has come full circle, this time to write Danny rather than Johnny. So let's see how that goes. Looks very cool. I must say, I'm always a massive Ghost Rider pervert, to be honest with you. You stick a man on fire and put him on a bike, I'm in. Very cool, like that. We do have a couple of copies of these left online as well. That's the DC Primer. It may have well escaped you recently, it may not have, but DC have been revamping a lot of their modern iteration titles, bringing back some favoured classics and introducing some new guys and girls. That will bring you up to speed on a lot of what they're doing as well. I believe there's a few tasty first appearance nuggets in there as well, so keep your peeps peeled. Here's a massive hit, okay, said to the surprise of absolutely no one. Disney's huge, I know, right, huge. However, Disney are not handling their own books via Marvel. They're actually licensing them out to Dynamite. And I have to say, Dynamite, you guys have done a sterling job. You've already been tackling Scar to great acclaim. You've been doing stuff like Gargoyles recently as well. But now you tackle one of, I think it's arguable to say, DC's biggest and most treasured villains of all time in Maleficent. Angelina Jolie has, of course, been tackling her on the big live screen in these last couple of years. But it had to be said, this is written and drawn by Sue Lee. And she's done I will say it, masterful job of really kind of bringing those tones out in the pages. Obviously, so much of the villain was in the voice work and animation of the movie, so a lot of it's in your head now. But it really, really does look the part. Beautiful stuff, and I want to get to a couple of those other covers in just a few minutes' time, so bear with me. Fantastic Four 7, that went mental this week on the pre-orders. That is a lovely montage cover there. Get a lot of bang for your buck in this one, folks. That is a giant issue. Giant cover as well. I believe there's more of this coming in a connecting series of covers to produce what will be the most populated cover series event of all time. Upwards of several hundred characters, I believe, looking at that by the time it will be done. Guardians of the Galaxy #2. I loved #1. I thought that was a riotous good little bit of fun. More than a whiff of the Mandalorian about it, but I'll take it. Good fun. Issue 2 looks to be juicy. Not sure we'll get where Gamora has gone yet, because she was all kinds of violent in issue 1, and so was Nebula, but we shall see what issue 2 wants to do. It's not too often I pause in these weekly segments here to talk about Zenscope, so bear with me, because normally what they do is quite a stylised take on Grimm fairy tales and pin-up and cheesecake, and yeah, they're very good at what they do. This was an absolute runaway hit for them, Man, Goat and Bunny Man, introducing much more of a style of the macabre and horror to their normal style of books. That will no doubt sell out. Every single one of the previous issues has gone absolutely balmy, okay? Keep your eyes peeled for the cover F variant as well. I'm just dropping it in there now. The Yanks are going to go bloody crazy for that. So if you want one, be quick. That's a 1 in 10 ratio. They've also got themselves covered on a normal lovely pin-up cover as well. That's Keith Garvey delivering the goods there. When this man draws pin-up, he's up there with the very best of them. That's a bit beautiful. Okay, moving towards the end of the list now. We're going to go into a little bit of Hellboy. Mike Mignola has got you covered on Miss Truesdale and the Fall of Hyperia from the world of Hellboy. Mike Mignola is a seasoned pro at this thing. Anything vaguely whiffing of occultism, a little bit of a Cthulhu, and obviously all things Hellboy, the man just gets this stuff nailed. I've got no idea what this will be about. I'm sure I will end up reading it a trade at some point, and I'm bloody sure it'll be utterly fantastic. I adore this man's work in a way I cannot possibly describe whilst keeping my clothes on the camera. Let's move on to Planet of the Apes #1. I know, it's already come out, but Marvel did it so well and it sold out in seconds. I don't think any copies actually made it onto eBay. It went on pre-order. So there's a second print available for you now just in time, cunningly enough, for number 2. That is all arriving for you on the same week, so if you want to get caught up, lovely stuff, Marvel, thank you. And indeed, another second print here on Spider-Man number 7. Spider-Boy made his appearance on that one. In particular, I think cover D he was on as a spoiler variant. If you aren't aware, this went absolutely potty. If you are aware, then you're probably rolling your eyes going, yes, Tom, we know. I know, it just went bonkers. So if you want it, that was our highest, I think one of our highest ever pre-ordered second prints of all time from Marvel there. That says a lot. A few quick ones to end up, and I think then we're on covers of the week, folks. Star Trek The Motion Picture gets a lovely little adaptation from IDW, who are now back on pre-order. If you wanted to get your Star Trek pre-orders in ahead of time, we are now putting IDW back on pre-order for the time being. And finishing up on one more facsimile for this week, all the way from Avengers in 1963 back to 1991 when X-Men did its wonderful thing, and there's more to fold out on the other side, but I'm sure I'll leave you some fun. That is X-Men number 1 from Jim Lee and the Masters doing their thing. That gets the facsimile treatment, super size issue there, so that's lovely stuff. Some of you may already have the first print. It was only about 30 odd years ago, but hey ho. And let's do colours. Derek Chew, I couldn't speak highly enough of last week, and that continues this week. That is his Avengers number 1. Beautiful cover there. Derek, you are the man right now, sir. That is luscious. Frank Cho doing his thing. This was more simplistic, but it just tickled me and I quite enjoyed it. That is Catwoman variant cardstock. I will continue to give DC praise for their cardstock covers. They're lovely this week. And then we did just mention, come on, wake up, Sue Lee doing her Maleficent stuff over on Dynamite. That is Erica Publier, I believe, off the top of my head. I really like that. Now, this was a late announcement and an addition to Dynamite's lineup, but one of the biggest guns of all time in modern comics chimes in with his variant. That is Jeffrey Scott Campbell's absolutely delicious variant cover V for Maleficent's number 1. Victor Bogdanovich, not to be outdone, gives you a man on a horse looking vaguely moody. Of course, that's Gunslinger Spawn. Love that colour palette, and it continues into this one, which for me was absolutely my cover of the week. As soon as I took it out of the box, both me and the Chief went, what the hell is that? That is delicious. And that is Razar on this week's Wonder Woman number, I forget, 799. Literally one more to go to the big 800. Right, that'll be it for me for this week. Do like, comment, share, subscribe if you can, and all that good jazz. It does literally help us out so much. It's a lot of fun seeing what you have to say. And if you are around on Saturday, please do join us for the Whatnot show. That will be good fun. Love you all, folks, and see you there. Bye.